In Los Angeles, as in any city, people want to get to their destinations quickly and inexpensively. They also want to preserve environmental quality. Some see these as conflicting goals. Others see a challenge for the 21st century.
Los Angeles has been in love with automobiles for years, and our traffic problems have gotten horrendous. We have a dire need for an efficient, workable public transportation system.
A plan to create a rapid transit system for Los Angeles County began in the 1970s. By the late 1990s, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority had built 60 miles of new urban rail lines, including subway and 2 light rail lines. By 1998, with an additional 20 miles planned, a reported debt of $7 billion, and a court order to improve the MTA's extensive bus system, it became clear that there was not sufficient funding to continue to build the rail system. The MTA board halted all subway construction, allowing only the Red Line extension to the San Fernando Valley to be completed. Stopping the subway construction has left Los Angeles commuters with a partially built rail system and a slow-moving bus system. Searching for a solution, Mayor Richard Riordan became aware of an innovative transit system built in Curitiba, Brazil. With funding from the W. Alton Jones Foundation, the mayor organized a delegation of 24 transportation and civic leaders from Southern California. They wanted to see if the Brazilian system could offer any solutions for Los Angeles.
I expect that we will learn a lot from what Curitiba has done to solve their public transportation system at about 5% of the cost of our subway system.
I'm looking forward to going to Curitiba because I believe there are things that I can learn. I really want to see the system. I want to see if it's transferable. I want to see if it's possible to have a system that is attractive and that is somewhere in between rail and bus, that is going to be successful in an urban environment, and in an urban environment where people have an alternative of using automobiles.
I'm particularly interested in the technology. They're operating vehicles that we don't have in Los Angeles. They're large articulated vehicles. I'm interested in looking at the cost factors. In other words, I'm a businessman looking at this industry from a business point of view, and that's what I hope to learn there.
An intense 2-day visit was scheduled for the delegation to tour the city and meet with the Brazilian officials responsible for developing the Curitiba integrated bus system.
Once there was Pele, now there's Riordan.
Yeah. They've taken buses to a new level. They call it subway on wheels, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Curitiba is considered one of the most livable cities in Brazil. With almost 2 million residents, Curitiba has one of the highest per capita incomes in Brazil, and the transportation system has been credited as the primary reason for the successful development of the city.
Free caring, President Burke.
Thank you for having us.
The first meetings were focused on learning about the history and planning of the bus system. The delegation met with the leaders of Curitiba's Institute for City Planning and with the government officials that oversee the operation of the bus system. In these meetings, the delegation learned that Curitiba uses both feeder buses and express buses, with the express buses acting as the subway on wheels. There are 5 major express routes running in and out of the central city. The neighborhood feeder buses transfer passengers to the express buses at integration terminals. The express buses travel in bus-only lanes that are located in the center of the street, with auto traffic located on either side. Extra-long bi-articulated buses are used on the most popular express routes. These buses hold up to 270 people and look very much like light rail cars. The buses were specially designed and built by Volvo in Curitiba. The express buses only stop every mile. Traffic signals are prioritized to allow the express buses to move through intersections without stopping. A critical part of the system that reduces travel time for the passenger is the boarding tube. At each express bus stop, passengers wait for the bus in a boarding tube. Fares are collected at the entrance to the tube. The floor of the tube is the same height as the floor of the bus, allowing quick access directly onto the bus. 5 doors open simultaneously and passengers move on and off the bus within 15 seconds. Disabled bus riders enter the tube on a small lift located near the fare collection station. Once inside the tube, the passenger simply rolls directly into the bus. On the express routes, a bus arrives every 70 seconds during rush hours and every 2 minutes during normal hours. Bus routes are laid out in very simple, direct lines as well as in concentric rings around the city. Each bus matches the color of the route it travels. The route colors are posted on maps in bus terminals throughout the city. After learning about the system, the delegation went out to ride the bus.
We're out here taking our first look at the bus system during a workday. We've got 4 or 5 of these long articulated buses lined up, and every single one of them is filled with passengers. A lot of standees, and all the seats are occupied. So it's obvious when you first walk out how heavily this bus system is utilized.
You have a bus transportation in LA.
But not we don't have the dedicated busways like you have. In fact, we have squandered or wasted billions of dollars on subways that have only solved about 1% of our problem. Okay, let's board.
In a tour of the city, the delegation experienced the bus system firsthand. As they rode the bus system, the delegation could see how high-density development located along the express bus routes has encouraged 75% of Curitiba's commuters to use the transit system, drastically reducing the use of automobiles for daily commuting.
It is the best in the world. It's the most efficient. It is people-friendly. So we can learn an awful lot from the people of Curitiba.
Thank you.
Throughout the trip, there were intense discussions among the delegates about how the features of the Curitiba system could be applied in Los Angeles.
It is interesting that you can put 270 people on a bus, 270 people, and 85% of them think they got good bus service.
Yeah.
Actually, it wouldn't have been bad if we built it and all the communities were in a region and stayed small and you could connect the dots.
I like the part that when they said that 26% of the users gave up their cars. Then they did a follow-up survey of which 95% of those people said the only way to go.
Wow.
They also found time to address individual questions about the bus system.
I just wanted to see what the width of the street was, where the double articulated bus dedicated lane was, and the side traffic. It's 31 paces. La Brea Avenue is probably 35 paces. Wilshire is for sure a lot more than that.
because I actually went out early this morning and rode around on the system, and I guess I had a couple observations. One of them is the fact that you can't appreciate the way the system is integrated. That is, the feeder lines and the express lines and the way they work together. I think also noticed that the signage and the directions were really very clear. I could find, without knowing any Portuguese, I could easily find my way around by looking at the color of the bus and then comparing it to the bus map.
The delegation also toured the local Volvo plant and met with Volvo executives who were able to answer questions about bus technology. Volvo executives explained that while the buses used in Curitiba are diesel buses, they are able to build the buses for other fuel sources as well, such as compressed natural gas. On the final morning of the trip, Governor Jaime Lerner, who developed Curitiba's bus system when he was mayor, welcomed the delegation to his private office.
Bom dia. You know, you'll never have a bad day with this wake up call. Bom dia.
In the meeting, Governor Lerner explained how the bus system began and how the system has grown more sophisticated over time.
How to make it happen, or what is the secret of Curitiba? Simplicity. So we never were afraid to propose simple solutions. In many places, mostly in this country, it was a kind of saying that city is very complex. The city is not so complex than complexity sellers want us to understand. And there's a lot of complexity sellers all over the world.
Governor Lerner explained how the design of the bus system increases the number of people transported each day. If a bus travels in an exclusive lane, twice as many people can be transported by each bus. Additional capacity comes with using single articulated buses and allowing passengers to board at the same level as the floor of the bus. The capacity is quadrupled when a bi-articulated bus is used in an exclusive lane with boarding at the same level.
We have a lot of cars in this town. What prompted people to get out of their car and ride transit?
You'll never have the change. The people, they won't change from their car for a public system if the public system has no quality, if it's not reliable, if there is no good frequency. I think the frequency is the major part of the system.
In a final press conference in Curitiba, Mayors Cassio Taniguchi and Richard Riordan discussed the potential of using the Curitiba transit system in Los Angeles.
The magic that we have seen in Curitiba, it's amazing, and we're going to take what we learned back to Los Angeles and make our transportation system better. But this is our simple concept. We just have to have the political will, the backbone to start implementing them.
I am very interested in looking at it. So at this point, the MTA needs to look at something in a rational way, make the kind of projections where we know what we're doing, and if this is what is good and it'll be great for the people of Los Angeles, I'll be 100% behind it.
I think the issue has been disengaging ourselves from this obsession with heavy rail, underground, high-cost technology. You know, I've had to go through that process myself. I was a subway supporter for Los Angeles for many years. But you have to be an idiot not to recognize that it's costing too much, it's taking too long.
the delegation came home with renewed energy.
I have a vision for transportation in Los Angeles County that includes dedicated bus lanes with Curitiba-like subway cars on tires, connected by local buses with smart shuttles that roam the city and pick up people in their neighborhoods, connect them to express buses, connect them to subways, connect them to light rail, and have a system that fits the diversity, the diffusion of people in Los Angeles.
I believe that the Rapid Bus pilot project, which we'll present to our board very shortly, will incorporate some of the elements of the Curitiba bus system, obviously not all of them, but some of the important ones. It will be a premium form of bus service. There'll be limited stops. We're looking at the rapid boarding techniques and other elements that exist in Curitiba that we haven't seen here in Los Angeles. So it'll be a good test of the system, not the full system, but something we can get up and operating quickly that I think will be a chance for Los Angeles bus passengers to examine to see whether they can buy into this concept.
The Curitiba bus system I thought was very impressive. A number of things. I was impressed by the bus itself and its ability to move large numbers of people in a very short time for long distances. I think that the idea of a dedicated busway is something that is very applicable. It's something that I think at the time has come that we need to really find places where we do that. We need to also give preemption for bus transportation in order for us to cut down the time of travel. That's something we have to do.
I don't think there's any question that there's applicability to Los Angeles, and since I've been back, I've actually put pencil to paper and I've mapped out a system that would be a Curitiba-based system. We are fortunate in that we have a number of wide boulevards, as wide as any European boulevard, that serve some of the most transit-dependent communities of our region. We've got right-of-ways. We've spent $500 million on right-of-ways in the San Fernando Valley and the southwest part of Los Angeles and elsewhere. Let's use the right-of-ways. We can either sit here and wait for 50 years till everybody in this area has a light rail or a subway, and I think 50 years may be optimistic, or you can try to do something in our lifetime.